Hey there and welcome. Today we are going to talk about something we literally discuss every single day, the weather. But this isn't just about whether you need a coat. It's really a story about human curiosity, about looking up at the sky and just trying to figure out what it's trying to tell us. So let's get into it. Let's learn how we cracked the code of the sky.
You know that feeling, right? Have you ever just smelled the rain coming, that earthy scent that hangs in the air? Or felt that incredible quiet when everything goes still and the world seems to be holding its breath right before it snows?
Well, if you have, then congratulations. You're already tapping into the mindset of a meteorologist. It's true. You're noticing things, you're observing, and you're connecting what your senses are telling you to what might happen next. You are part of this ancient, long line of sky watchers.
And that really gets us to our first big idea. At its very core, weather forecasting didn't start with supercomputers. It started with the simple art of noticing. Before any gadgets or data, it was all about paying really close attention to the world around you.
Okay, so the official word, meteorology. It sounds kind of complex, right? But its origins are actually beautifully simple. The ancient Greeks called it meteorologia, which literally just means the study of things high in the air. That's all it is. It's the science of trying to understand that thin layer of air around our planet and, figuring out its constantly changing moods.
Now, speaking of moods, we've got to make a really crucial distinction here. You hear the words weather and climate thrown around all the time, sometimes like they're the same thing. They're not, at all. And there's a great way to think about it. It's like a person's mood versus their personality.
So, weather. That's the atmosphere's mood right now. It's sunny, it's raining, it's windy. It can change in a heartbeat. Climate, though, that's the long-term personality of a place. You expect Miami to be warm and humid. That's its personality. A surprisingly cold day there? Well, that's just a mood.
And that is exactly where the meteorologist comes in. Their whole job is to be the ultimate mood reader for the atmosphere. They use all this data to try and figure out what it's going to do in the short term, today, tomorrow, and for the next week.
But you gotta wonder, how did we make that massive leap from just feeling the rain coming to actually predicting it with hard science? For most of human history, it was all about folklore and observation, not data.
You've all heard sayings like this one, right? Red sky at night, sailor's delight. This wasn't just some old wives' tale. It was basically early science. It was pattern recognition. See, in places like Europe and North America, weather usually moves from west to east. So a red sky at sunset means there's clear, dry air to the west, which means good weather is probably on its way. That was the original forecast.
Then, a few key inventions came along and completely changed the game. The thermometer let us measure heat, the barometer let us measure air pressure, but the real breakthrough, the absolute game changer, was the telegraph. For the very first time, people could share weather observations from hundreds of miles away almost instantly. This was the birth of big data for weather.
But, all these tools are just tools. They needed a visionary to connect the dots. And that brings us to one absolutely incredible person. If modern weather forecasting has a founding father, it's got to be Captain Robert Fitzroy. And his story, it's just fascinating. See, Fitzroy wasn't some academic sitting in an office. He was the famous captain of the HMS Beagle, the same ship that carried Charles Darwin around the world. As a Navy man, Fitzroy knew firsthand how deadly storms could be. He was deeply affected by a disaster in 1859 when a massive storm wrecked the steam clipper Royal Charter. His motivation was raw and practical. He just wanted to save sailors' lives.
So Fitzroy had this absolutely revolutionary idea. He realized he could use that brand new telegraph network to get barometric pressure readings from all over the country at the same time. Then he'd plot that data on a map, and bam, he created the world's first weather maps. They didn't just show where a storm was, they showed where it was going. He was the first person to call it a forecast. But you have to imagine what this was like back then. The idea that some guy could scientifically predict the weather, it sounded absurd. It was almost like playing God. The newspapers made fun of him, the public mocked his daily forecasts, and even other scientists were like, no way. It was a totally new and unproven thing.
But, and this is the best part, Fitzroy kept going, and his storm warnings started to be right. Ships that heeded his forecasts were saved from terrible gales. He proved it. He proved that science could save lives. His work directly led to the founding of the UK's Met Office and really every single weather service on the planet today.
So fast forward to today. Where does that leave all of us? Well, Fitzroy's legacy has grown in ways he probably couldn't even have dreamed of, bringing the science of forecasting right into your own backyard.
I mean, think about it. Today, we have satellites giving us a view of the entire planet from space. We have supercomputers running millions of calculations a second to model the atmosphere. It's Fitzroy's original mission, observe and predict, just scaled up on an unbelievable global level.
And yet, here's the thing. For all that incredible tech, the fundamental process at the heart of it all is exactly the same. It is still about observation, curiosity, and recognizing patterns. It's still a deeply human thing.
And you can do it too. Seriously, this is your call to action. Next time, just forget the weather app on your phone for a minute. Step outside. Just feel the air. Is it cool? Is it damp? Then look up at the clouds. What do they look like? And which way is the wind pushing them? You're doing exactly what Fitzroy did, just for your little corner of the world.
So the next time you step outside, just take a moment, pause, look up, and ask yourself, what is the sky telling me right now? Because the story of the forecast is still being written every single day, and by simply noticing, you get to be a part of it. Thanks for tuning in.